Imagine wanting to further pursue your education after high school, but you can't get into your local state college. You then settle for a private college, which not only is more expensive, but doesn't have nearly as nice facilities as a local state college. Now imagine this private college cutting off some of your academic scholarships halfway through your junior year, forcing you to pay up that wickedly expensive base tuition price, or having to transfer to another college that may do the same thing to you down the road. This may seem like a horror story told by a public university to scare you into going to their college, but in truth is a cold, harsh reality for thousands of college students today. This may also become a reality for you, your grandkids, and your grandchildren someday. That is why it is your responsibility to help save not only your education, but also the educations of thousands of other students. Just between my time of accepting admission to a public university and enrolling for housing at that university, I have already watched my base tuition rise almost $1,000 a year. Today, I would like to discuss the problem with the state government's funding of public universities, the solution to this lack of funding, and the benefits of my proposed solution. First, let's talk about the problem itself. The lack of an increase in state funding for these public universities results in a higher tuition for these public universities, and even allows private universities to also hike up their rates. This is shown through a meeting conducted by some of Iowa State's representatives in the State of Iowa's Representatives, according to an article written by Vanessa Miller in the local Gazette. According to statistics from the U.S. News, in the past 10 years, the average tuition for public universities have gone up 55%, and the tuition for private universities have risen a very comparable 49%. According to statistics provided by the successful online news source Iowa State Daily, this current year, Iowa State has received new budget cuts from the Iowa State government of around $5.4 million. Iowa State is now going under their own tuition rise approval process to be able to match this loss of revenue from the state. In conclusion, Iowa State, and other public universities in Iowa are all being denied the state funding that was initially granted, forcing these public universities to match this revenue loss by hiking up their prices of their base tuition. The average student is now suffering. Private colleges are now able to raise their tuition prices and stay competitive with the state universities, and the Iowa economy is beginning to suffer. Yet, there is a solution to almost any problem. In my opinion, the best way for you all to help with this problem is to stay educated on your state elections and vote for who you think will best support the funding of these public universities. Yet, sometimes it may be a bit out of your control, meaning it's up to the people in our state government making these decisions. I believe the correct course of action is for the state government to match the revenue gained by a state college this year previous, resulting in a 50-50 split. This is the best course of action for a multitude of reasons. Primarily, the budget will create a much larger inherent competition in state universities. These public universities will be forced to try and educate more students to create more revenue. If they begin to hike up their rates like they have been doing, they will begin to lose their revenue to other public and private universities, resulting in less of their own funding. This budget split will keep the allocation of funds fair between colleges. The only way for a college to attain more funds is for them to educate more students. In theory, a budget like this would work wonders. There may be a couple of tweaks needed, but overall, I believe this is the course of action needed for us Iowans to be able to take charge of our education past high school. Now that we have seen how the budget works and functions, let's talk about the benefits. There are numerous benefits to the solution. By creating a competitive budget for public universities, it will stop public and private universities from continuing to increase their base tuition year by year. This solution will not only create competitive and affordable pricing between public and private universities for the average Iowan students, but it will also give more education to more students. This only means a better future for the state of Iowa. Imagine our state many years from now. The budget is implemented and is working correctly. Public universities are actively trying to educate you, and private universities are also an affordable and safe option alongside these state universities. In conclusion, throughout this presentation, I have hit on problems created by Iowa public universities continuing to raise their tuitions year by year, how the Iowa State Legislature can fix this problem through a new and competitive budget, and the benefits of the budget. If my solution to this problem is implemented, I believe you or a loved one will have less of a problem obtaining the educations you all deserve. So I ask you, Iowans, take your power and speak. Vote and fight for your education and the educations of thousands of students who reside in our great state.